few years ago, say around 2017, 2018, if you wanted a lifestyle projector, your options were either some questionable $200 model from Amazon or something closer to $1,500 that still felt like a compromise. One of the biggest drawbacks of lifestyle projectors has always been that they just can't compete with a dedicated long throw projector, but that's starting to change. If you've been paying attention the last year, you've probably heard of a little company called Valerion. They launched last year with a Kickstarter campaign backed by AWOL, and their debut projectors made an immediate impression in the industry. I reviewed an early engineering sample of the Vision Master Pro 2, and honestly, it was one of the biggest surprises of the year. It even earned an AVSForum top choice for 2024. Valerion's lineup consists of 5 models with their Vision Master Max, their flagship, coming later this year. Just below that is the Vision Master Pro 2, then the Pro, and then the one I'm reviewing today, the StreamMaster Plus 2. This is the updated version of what was originally called the Vision Master Plus 2, now just with a new name. I was a big fan of the packaging on the Valerion Pro 2, and it's nice to see that attention to detail carry over to the more affordable models as well. The outer box provides protection for a smaller portable inner box, which includes a rubber handle on top. It's compact and relatively easy to carry, and honestly, it feels more refined than your typical plain cardboard box approach. As for the projector itself, it's one of the more elegant designs I've come across. It shares the same overall look as the Pro 2 aside from the color. The Plus 2 comes in a white and turquoise finish. Each unit in the lineup is color-coded, so you can visually differentiate between models. The sides feature electroplated metal strips that wrap around the chassis, giving the projector a more polished look. It measures 10.2 inches wide by 7.3 inches deep and 8.5 inches tall, and weighs in at a fairly light 15.4 pounds. On the bottom, there's a standard tripod thread mount with 2 fixed rubber feet in the back and an integrated kickstand up front. The kickstand feels stiff at first, almost to the point where it feels like it's not meant to be used, but once you open it, it's easily adjustable. Around back, all the connections are organized within a compartment with a drop-down door. Inputs include 2 HDMI 2.1 ports and 1 HDMI 2.0 port, one of which supports eARC, as well as 2 USB ports, one 2.0 and one 3.0, optical and analog audio outputs, and an Ethernet port. For wireless connectivity, the Plus 2 includes Bluetooth 5.2 and Wi-Fi 6E. The design of the Plus 2 carries over to the remote as well. It has a metal finish that gives it a more premium feel compared to typical plastic remotes. It's slim and lightweight and sits pretty comfortable in the hand. You get quick access buttons for the Google home screen, settings, and volume control. There's also a dedicated autofocus button, and the remote includes a backlight too. It supports both IR and Bluetooth, giving you flexibility in how you control the projector. The backlight is a nice touch, but it doesn't light up the entire remote, only a handful of the most often used buttons. The StreamMaster Plus 2 is a single-chip DLP projector using a 0.47-inch DMD from Texas Instruments. It's rated at 2000 ISO lumens and uses a triple laser RGB light source. There's no color wheel here, which helps avoid rainbow effect and allows the projector to cover up to 110% of BT 2020. That number is high for this category, though I'll talk more about how it actually performs with color later on in this review. Now, unlike the Vision Master Pro models, the Plus 2 doesn't get you optical zoom. So if the projector isn't perfectly placed relative to your screen, you'll need to rely on digital zoom to make adjustments, which does degrade image quality just a tad. Not a deal breaker, but definitely something to keep in mind if you're planning a ceiling mount or trying to avoid keystone correction. Models above the Plus 2 do offer optical zoom, so that's one of the trade-offs here. The throw ratio is wide enough to get you an image anywhere from 40 inches all the way up to a massive 300 inches, which I've seen a couple of other reviewers do on YouTube, and I'm not gonna lie, it does look pretty awesome. HDR format support includes HDR10, HDR10 Plus, Dolby Vision, and IMAX Enhanced. On the gaming side, it supports 4K at 60 Hz with ALLM and HDR10 Plus Gaming. It's not a high refresh rate projector, but it covers the basics well enough. It's also 3D capable using active DLP link glasses and can handle all standard 3D formats. The Valerion StreamMaster Plus 2 runs on Google TV, which makes setup simple and adds smart home features like AirPlay 2 and Chromecast. It also supports voice control through both Google Assistant and Alexa, which allows you to use voice commands directly through the remote. Core streaming apps like Netflix, Prime Video, and Disney Plus come pre-installed, and additional apps can be downloaded through the Play Store. There's even a basic web browser built in. During my time with the projector, the interface ran smoothly, and I didn't run into any issues with the apps or menus. Setting up the Valerion StreamMaster Plus 2 is pretty simple. You've got autofocus and auto keystone to help dial things in, so getting the image lined up doesn't take too much effort. The one thing to watch out for though is the throw distance. If you're too close or too far, you might need to rely on digital zoom, which can degrade the image quality. I tested the projector in a couple of different setups. In my light-controlled media room, I had it about 12 feet back, throwing a 138-inch 235 image onto a Stewart Film Screen Studio Tech 130G4. I also tried it in a brighter living room setup with a 120-inch 16:9 ALR screen, this time from around 10 feet away. As for picture modes, there are a lot of options. For SDR, you get dynamic, standard, sports, PC, energy saving, cinema, and filmmaker mode. HDR has its own list, including HDR dynamic, standard, energy, sports, cinema, filmmaker, and IMAX. And when you're watching Dolby Vision content, it gives you 3 modes: Dolby Vision Bright, Dolby Vision Dark, and Custom. For those who want to fine-tune the image, the projector offers full calibration controls. There's a color tuner where you can adjust hue, saturation, and brightness for each primary and secondary color. It also includes both a quick 2-point and a more detailed 20-point adjustment for white balance, along with gamma calibration to dial in grayscale performance. I was really curious to see how the StreamMaster Plus 2 would stack up to the Pro 2, especially since my original Pro 2 review was based on an early engineering sample running earlier firmware. Now with the consumer version of the Plus 2 and the latest firmware, I'm happy to say it looks almost as good, aside from a few key differences, such as it being a little less bright and having a little bit less contrast. One of the biggest strengths of DLP has always been the image sharpness, and the Plus 2 absolutely delivers. Even though it's not a native 4K projector, the image still looks detailed, especially when upscaling 1080p content. Like the Pro 2, the Plus 2 includes several AI-driven enhancements that can be toggled on using a button on the remote. Features like AI Super Resolution 2.0, AI Scene Recognition 2.0, and AI Object Recognition 2.5 help with detail enhancement and depth. When these are active, they do sharpen up the image noticeably. Without them, the image can look a little bit too soft, though some may prefer the more natural presentation. One potential drawback with DLP projectors is the rainbow effect, RBE, though everyone is different when it comes to how much they see. I saw a bit of RBE on the earlier Pro 2 sample, but with this production unit of the Plus 2, there was virtually none. As for brightness, the projector performs well. In its brightest preset, Sports Mode, I measured 2095 ANSI lumens, which is slightly above Valerian's spec. Of course, most people won't watch content in that mode. After calibration, Cinema Mode came in at 1702 ANSI lumens, which is still plenty bright even for HDR. The Valerion Plus 2 includes onboard tone mapping, which is something you don't really see with projectors in this price range. The tone mapping it offers is quite good. I did compare it to see how it performs compared to a dedicated video processor, as well as a higher-end projector, and it did hold up quite well. It's not quite as refined as the dedicated video processor, which is to be expected, but unless you're doing an A/B comparison, the difference isn't huge. Highlights pop nicely in HDR, and there's even an HDR enhancer setting that brings some of that dynamic HDR look to SDR content. It's subtle, but it works, especially with older Blu-rays. One of the best features here that debuted last year is Enhanced Black Level, or EBL. It works by dynamically adjusting the laser and image settings based on scene brightness. So when you're watching darker content, EBL reduces the laser output and fine-tunes contrast, gamma, and brightness in real time. The result? Noticeably deeper blacks without crushing details and better contrast overall. I measured native contrast at 3110 to 1, which is already solid for a DLP in this price range. But with EBL turned on, that jumped to 10,276 to 1. When I had the Pro 2 in for review, EBL only worked when laser brightness was maxed out. That's no longer the case here. You can dial it down to as low as level 6 and still use EBL. Plus, there are now 2 EBL options: dark level enhancement and high dynamic contrast. The latter is a little bit brighter, but otherwise they perform very similar. Color performance is a clear strength of the RGB laser engine, and the Plus 2 shows that off well. RGB laser projectors can suffer from laser speckle, and I'm usually pretty sensitive to it. After a couple of weeks of using this projector though, I've noticed that the speckle is very minimal. I only really noticed it slightly on bright red backgrounds like those State Farm commercials. Watching a movie was a non-issue. Motion handling on the Plus 2 is really good, especially given the usual challenges DLP projectors face with 24 frame content. Valerion has included a film setting in the motion enhancement options specifically to address this. This setting improves the smoothness of the picture without introducing soap opera effect and does quite a good job, I might add. While most of us are probably going to pair this projector with a soundbar or external speakers, I've got to say the built-in sound on the StreamMaster Plus 2 is actually pretty solid, especially if you're setting it up in a living room or a bedroom. You've got a full range of sound modes to pick from, including standard, theater, sports, music, speech, late night, and intelligent sound. I found that theater mode offered the best overall balance. Dialogue came through clearly, and there was enough bass to give soundtracks and effects a little punch without getting too muddy. There's also an auto acoustic tuning feature that uses the mic built into the remote to optimize the audio for your space. It's not just a gimmick either. It made a noticeable difference in how even the sound felt across the room. If you want to take it a step further, you can dive into the manual EQ and tweak things yourself. It gives you control over specific frequency bands from 125 Hz all the way up to 8 kHz. Going into this review, I had a good idea of what to expect after testing the Vision Master Pro 2 last year, but the StreamMaster Plus 2 still managed to surprise me. The firmware has clearly improved since my last review, and what really stood out is just how close this model gets to the Pro 2 in overall picture quality, minus a bit of brightness and contrast. It handles both bright and dark scenes really well. The image is sharp, the colors look great, and overall performance at this price point, which is currently $1,999, isn't something you see often. And I've seen some bundles online that throw in tripods or other accessories, which makes the overall value even better. With the flagship Max model still on the way, I'm definitely interested to see where Valerion goes next. But for anyone looking to upgrade from a TV without dedicating an entire space for projection, the StreamMaster Plus 2 hits a sweet spot in price and performance. For all these reasons, I'm happy to give the Valerion StreamMaster Plus 2 an AVSForum top choice for 2025. Thanks for watching. If you found this review helpful, make sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more coming your way. Drop a comment if you have any questions, and I'll catch you in the next video.